Hey y'all, it's Megan and Andy. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend some time with us today. I think Mr. Lawson's finally gonna get that corn picked. Try to anyway.
It's getting picked, whether it's green, whether it's dry, don't matter. We're picking it today.
Yep.
I had to come up here to Daddy's to get the corn picker. I'm gonna wrap. Some of y'all might have noticed I had this string around my lift arms in the last corn picking video, but I put it here to keep my lift arms from slapping back and forth, hitting the tires. But also, you know, you can get those drawbars that go on the 3-point hitch between the lift arms. But I don't like running those where it's a hard piece of metal. If for some reason this drive shaft comes up and hits that drawbar you'd have there, it would potentially bend that drive shaft, and I don't want to do that. So this string has give to it. It won't let that happen, but it'll still keep my lift arms from swinging back and forth. See, now if for some reason or another we got in a bad bind and that come up and hit that, the worst thing's going to happen is it's going to wrap around that drive shaft. But I've been doing this for years and I've never seen that happen, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. All right, let's go hook up the trailer. This is another. There is corn on this trailer. This is another good benefit to a balanced trailer. I can move it like this. And then I also like to put my pin in upside down on this thing, because if that drags the ground, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. But if that drags the ground, it could knock your pin out and cause you to lose your trailer. There we go. There. Well, let's go. So, the last corn picking video, I had a person mention that the best time to pick corn was first thing in the morning while there was still just a little bit of dew on the ground. And it allows it to be damp and pick better. Or not damp, but there's just a slight bit of dampness to the corn, and it allows it to pick better. I've heard that all my life. I really have. Daddy's told me that more than once. So we are first thing in the morning this morning. However, there's absolutely no dew this morning. It's a little bit on the breezy side, and there's no dew. So I don't guess we're going to get the benefit from that. Another question. We've had people in the past ask what these two buildings were right here. Now we're out down on my daddy's place. These are old tobacco barns, book barns. They used to have racks that you loaded up with tobacco and you slid up on a track inside those barns, and there was a burner inside those barns and it would cure your tobacco out. Kind of like what the purpose of that one used to be. That one's falling down now. I kind of hate to see that, but it's been in bad shape my whole life. But that was a stick barn, and you would put the tobacco on sticks, hang it up in that barn on what they called tier poles, and you would have burners inside that barn there that would cure the tobacco. It heats up the barn and cures the tobacco. We grew flue cured tobacco around here, which you have to cure by heating the barn in some way. Where you get a whole lot higher elevation than what we are, they grew burley tobacco, and that air cures. So it's a little bit different situation. We did grow burley tobacco the last 2 years we had tobacco, just trying to do away with some expenses where you didn't have the fuel bill from curing tobacco. However, it just didn't work out that great here. I think it was too hot in the summertime or something, but the burley just didn't do that great here. And for anybody curious, if I'm not mistaken, I think 2013 was the last year that we grew tobacco. I had about an acre on my own, and that was all. And then Daddy had the rest, and we just kind of helped each other with it. But anyways, that was the last year there was tobacco grew on this place. Some ways I miss it, and some ways I don't. Down here at the cornfield now. This particular field, when I was a kid, which we still call it this, was called the long bottom because it's extremely long, but it's a narrow field. It's not very wide at all, but we called it the long bottom. And I'm gonna tell you what, when we had tobacco, I absolutely hated this field right here because it felt like it was gonna take you forever to get from one end to the other when you were hoeing or chopping or priming or anything. It felt like you wasn't getting nowhere because the field was so long. Even though there weren't that many rows in it, just the length of the field made it feel that way. So down here at the lower end of this long bottom, you can probably tell from the last video to now that this corn has dried out a lot. It's had 3 or 4 different frosts on it. It's had 2 hard freezes on it. And a lot of dry weather since those hard freezes, so it should be perfect. Should be just perfect. I'm gonna try to make one quick adjustment here. Oh, went too far. What that lever right there does is close up those rollers in there where the part that picks the corn. I opened them up a good ways before I started picking last time, and I noticed it was busting some of my corn cobs. So that kind of tells me they were opened up too far, letting the corn cob get down in there and maybe bust it. So I closed them up just a little bit more. So hopefully it'll pick just a tad bit better this go around. Make sure everything looks right. As far as lubing it all up, everything was lubed up really good before I started picking last time, and I only picked like 6 or 8 rows. So we should be good to go there. Let's get it started and see what happens. Y'all keep your fingers crossed that this goes flawlessly. Oh me, what's the chances of that happening? I've actually been paused here for a little while on picking corn. I made 2 rounds, and this is what I've got so far. And I'm gonna tell you what, there's a lot of corn laying there. Got my crew out here with me. They are fixing to walk up and down the field and see if they see any corn laying on the ground, and I'm sure there is. Stuff that the pickers mixed. That's the bad thing about this here heirloom corn that I have noticed. Picking with this style picker, the ears are so high that when it hits that, the picker head there, sometimes they can shear off and they just fall over, and then they miss, the picker doesn't pick up the ear. And plus there's some down here that has fell over and the picker don't pick that up anyways. Anyways, it's actually getting on, it's after lunch now, so I'm gonna get back at it, and I believe we'll have this done in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. So hopefully it doesn't take me too much longer. We'll have it done and be wrapped up for the year. right there, man. Tall corn. what's happening. We've broke another chain. What in the world? Did I break that one?
Broke again?
No, it's a different chain. So you have these chains right here that carry the corn up in there, but this one right here runs, it's a little short chain that runs right there on that little sprocket right there. And for some reason it has broke. And actually it looks like it's been broke a while. Looks like I've been running it without that chain for a while. I didn't know it was broke. Actually, it didn't even break it.
Is it just like rung off or
It's
something?
just run off of the sprocket.
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I can get it back on there.
Is there something I need to do up on this end?
I can't see what it's got below those rollers right there. And I got to get it back above those rollers, and I'm not sure I can do that.
Well, darn.
Darn it. Why? This is ridiculous. Pretty sure that's a... I might be wrong. It could have been this other chain right here I was talking about, but when we put that chain back in there, I looked at that one and I said, boy, that thing's awful loose. And Daddy said, oh, don't worry about it, it'll be all right. Man, that really stinks. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be no problem to go up there. I'm gonna have to knock one of them links out. If I had a hammer, I might could do it down here. But knock one of them links out and take the chain apart, pull it out of there, and then put the chain back where it's supposed to be right here. See, it's supposed to run on that pulley right there. And it pulls off of a gear up here, and it runs across that gear. And that's just another chain that helps pull corn up in. Honestly, it could probably run without it, but I don't need to be running it with it dangling like that. All right, see if I can find a hammer. So Jacob ran to the house and got me a hammer. I don't know what kind of farmer I am. I ain't even got a hammer on the tractor. But I'm gonna try my best to fix this down here. However, there's a good chance I can. These chains right here, the links have got a split in them, and you fold them over like that and beat them off. And Joey from JT West actually brought me to just today. He's the one we quit and went back up to the house for. He come up there to see us for a few minutes, but he brought me a little vise type tool that you put these links in, and it's made just for that. However, I forgot to tell Jacob to grab it, but I may end up sending him back up there to get it anyways. I don't think I'm going to get a firm enough. Let's see. Let's try this one. I don't think I'm going to get a firm enough back in here to do this. Because to initially get them started, it takes a pretty hard lick. It's going though.
Is it moving?
Yeah, it's going. I don't have that's not a very firm backing, so it's a little harder than normal. And I can't get up in here good enough to get me a good hard swing on it. We got it apart. We finagled around and beat. Finally got it out. So,
Has that one come off before?
I ain't never known this chain to come off. However, Daddy has probably had it come off. Daddy said about every chain on this thing that could break always broke with him, and it always broke at nighttime. Because he'd be he'd be picking corn at nighttime because he'd be working during the day. And he said He said, try crawling around on that thing, underneath that thing when it's dark outside and you can't see what you're doing. And I said, yeah. Sounds about right. I'm starting to learn. Makes you wonder sometimes why in this world you want to fool with this stuff. See, now she'll go back around there. Now Jacob's gone to get that little vice thingamajigger that Joey brought me today. So I hope I can put this thing back together down here without having to go to the house.
Mr. Lawson to the rescue.
What is that? Here you go, Daddy.
Thank you, sir. See that chain link goes in that right there, and then you can just, it holds it for you and you beat it right out. But I don't think we got enough room to use it under here. I think that's all right. I think I can still beat it right there and it'll go in. Is it going?
Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
That easy? Look at there. Y'all see how loose that chain is? No wonder it come off. Maybe I should tighten it up before we get back started. Up this pulley just a little bit, or this gear, and slide it. Get me just a little bit more tension on that chain, so maybe it don't come off again. I need a set of wrenches in the tractor, at least an adjustable wrench. I used to have one in there. Ain't never much like using vice grips, but it's what I got.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. That's still loose. I think it's tighter than it was, though.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, to be fair, Daddy said it didn't need to be very tight. I think it should be tighter than it is, though. All right.
Try it again.
Try it again. Oh, my goodness. I ain't getting aggravated or nothing, but I tell you, I'm starting to wonder if we're ever going to get it picked.
Well, and if you don't know, the last time we tried to pick it,
Broke that other chain up in there. This one.
the big chain.
The one that carries the corn up. And that one's a lot harder job to fix. It ain't near as easy as that.
Well, maybe it won't leave so much chain.
So I didn't really get to try it out, Joey, but I'm sure it's going to come in handy at some point in time. I appreciate you bringing it to me. I really do. If y'all don't know Joey, check out his channel, JT West. He does a lot of stuff with an old 140 Farmall and plants little corn and garden and stuff like that. You'd probably like him if you wanted to go check him out. All right, let's just stick this stuff up here
And hope for the best.
and hope for the best and see if we can't get it picked this time without having trouble. I don't think that chain is what caused me to stop up right there, though, because it was stopped up yonder, not down here. I just happened to see the chain broke when I went to unclog it. After looking at it, I really think that chain might have been broke for a little while here. Like, it probably broke today, but I think it's been broke for a couple of rounds anyway.
much the camera does that justice, but that is one more huge ear of corn. So here's another one. Can you tell how big that is next to my head? Crazy. Crazy how big some of these are. What'd you find? What'd you find? Did you get it? What is it? You dug all the way around that corn plant. What's under there? Well, now ain't that a sight for sore eyes? The last row.
Oh my goodness, y'all. I didn't think I was ever going to see that last row. Ha! But it's done. It is done. Thank goodness. And I want y'all to look at what a load of corn. This stuff is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful corn. I mean, absolutely beautiful. That is going to make, or I have a feeling that's going to make some amazing cow feed. But I'm going to tell you, being that this is the most of this heirloom corn I've ever picked with a picker, there is a huge downside to this stuff. It grows too tall. It is way too tall to efficiently pick with one of these pickers. However, I don't think that's going to stop me from raising it, because that's the only downside I have to it. But it is too tall. And what I mean by that is you have such big ears way up here. When this picker hits it, that corn stalk will break or shear off, and it'll just fall right out and not go through the picker. Like your Roundup Ready corn and all that stuff, the ears are down a lot lower, and they'll just run right up through there, no problem. You can truck right along picking corn like that. I was having to run extremely slow picking this corn here, because if it hit it and jarred it or anything, it would just knock the ear out, because it was so high up in the air. And so that is a very big downside I have found to this corn, and I did not realize that till today. But thank goodness it's done. I mean, y'all don't know how happy I am. You get another 5-gallon bucket full? Six. And I wouldn't be surprised if you could go out there and pick 6 more.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, I'm sure I've missed some, because I've not walked every single row. I've kind of skipped around.
That's what I was talking about. Like, the corn is popping out of the husk very easy. And as soon as that thing hits that stalk, it might do it like that. And you know where that ear is way up here? it falls out and doesn't get into the mechanism that picks the corn. And it's become it's a problem. It really is. You don't get much better looking corn.
Oh, there's some big ears. I wasn't gonna stay down here this long. I was gonna go home and fix supper, but after I seen how much was on the ground, I said, well, I can't leave this.
Well, I tell you, I've been thinking about it, and this has become, well, it ain't exactly an all-day project, but it's took up every bit of the evening here.
It's took up most of the,
Every bit of
ever
the
since
evening.
lunch.
Ever since lunch, we've been down here, so.
I think I've walked this field, I feel like 20 times.
Well, I tell you what, I kind of felt bad for you out there picking that corn up, so instead of cooking supper tonight, you want to just go grab us something to eat.
Go to next one. I need to go to Tractor Supply. Might as well do all that.
That sounds good to me. I'm going to unhook this trailer down here because it's heavy, and I'm not going to pull it out behind that corn picker. I mean, it's just too much weight. Too much weight behind that corn picker to pull it back out that steep hill coming out of here.
So are you satisfied?
Am I satisfied? I'm tickled because just think, not only we got this wagon full, we have that other trailer's half full.
Oh, that's right. Is it of this?
Yeah, that's this field. But we had to quit using that trailer because remember the runners was locked on.
I got you.
Now, I want to talk about something real quick before we call it quits here. I finally got the question that I've been waiting on.
What?
Somebody asked in the last corn picking video, well, why are you trying to plant this heirloom corn instead of just planting the regular Roundup Ready corn? Yeah, why do you want to do that?
Because you get more yield.
Because you would have more yield per acre with the Roundup Ready corn, or any type of hybrid yellow corn. It don't have to be the Roundup Ready. That's what most people around here plant is the Roundup Ready corn. And the reason for that is I've got about as much money in this crop right here as I would have had in the seed for the Roundup Ready. And I'm taking a gamble planting it down in here because it was a potential the deer could just slap eat it up.
Oh yeah.
And I really think now, while I was talking about the height of this corn being a big downfall, I think that's also helped us because the ears are so high the deer can't get to them without knocking the stalk over.
And they've definitely been in here.
Oh yes. And I like the fact that I can save this seed from now on. All I got to do is get me a couple 5-gallon buckets of corn cobs out of here, shell it, and replant that corn every year.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, if we keep it right, Jacob and Maggie could still be planting this corn 50 years from now.
Yeah.
I mean, and it could work that way if we kept it going. Now, you can't do that with the hybrid corns or the Roundup Ready corns.
It's illegal if you try.
And it's illegal if you try. You better not get caught trying. So, I do like the fact that I can do that. And in my opinion, when you're doing this on a scale that we're doing it, and you can get ears like that right there.
That's probably our average size.
That's average. That's not the biggest, and that's definitely not the smallest.
But most of them are about that size.
So when you can have ears like that, as your average size ear, and all I've got invested in this, now of course I did have to buy my seed originally. And I think I got it from True Leaf Market, or what was the other one you said?
So True Seed. I don't remember which one it was.
It was either So True Seed. I'll have to look back. But it was either So True Seed or True Leaf Market or something like that.
One of those Trues.
It was something like that. I don't even remember.
I can't remember either.
But that's where I got my original seed that I planted this spring. But from now on, I'll never, unless we do something wrong, I'll never have to buy any more seed. So I think that's a big advantage. The other big advantage is it takes very little fertilizer to grow this. Yeah. It only had a little bit of triple 14 planted, put by it when we planted it. I think on this whole field here, which is about 2.5 acres, maybe, I put 20 bags of triple 14 on this whole field. If I'd have had the other style corn, because it's planted closer together, it requires more nutrients in the ground to grow it. I would have had to put that much fertilizer when I planted it and went back and top dressed it with something too in order to have ears that look like that.
And y'all just remember, like we're doing this too on like a, I guess you call it like a homestead scale. We're not farmers. We're not selling this to the public. This is not our cash crop. This is solely animal feed for our cows.
That's the other thing that I was going to mention. We're not doing it on a production scale.
Yeah, that's the word.
We are out here just trying to raise enough to, if not completely feed our animals, just to put a dent in it. And in my opinion, if you're in the same situation as us, doing it just like kind of like what we're doing, the heirloom corn is the way to go, because you can grow it with such minimal expense.
Do you have to buy so much seed of that Roundup Ready corn too, right?
I was gonna have to buy a 50-pound bag, which would have been more than I needed.
That's what I thought you had to buy so much.
It was like $400 for a bag. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't have, counting buying the seed and the fertilizer, I don't have hardly that much in this.
Like, period.
Yeah.
That's something to think about. And like I said, I mean, we're not farmers. And I don't know, it's just another thing that we can do ourselves, like Andy said, save our seeds from. I mean, and that means a lot in itself. So, I mean, and it's all in what you want to do.
Exactly.
What your end goal is, yeah.
I enjoy doing it.
There's no wrong answer.
Just like that
There's
chain.
no right or wrong.
Just like all the trouble we've had with this picker, you might say, well, why in the world do you want to fool with that stuff? It's just what I like to do. In the live the other morning, I told this, but in case you didn't see the live, this is Boone County white corn. And the way I came up with Boone County white corn, why that ended up being the variety that I planted, was I did a quick Google search. And I said, what heirloom corn makes the best animal feed? And several varieties came up, but Boone County white corn kept popping up. There were several listings about Boone County white corn, Boone County white corn. And so I started doing a little bit of research on it and seeing how big they said the ears grew and all that. I think it was 1935 or 6. It was somewhere in the 1930s. It won some type of state record on some of the biggest ears.
I can see how.
Oh, I can definitely see how, because there's some monsters in here. And so, I was like, well, that sounds like a fun variety to try. And that's one I had never heard of. And so, here it is.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are. And so I'm tickled.
And it did good down here. Like, it did.
It did really good. And just think,
well.
If my planter hadn't have missed all them spots, how much more corn we would have had.
I seen how bad it was where I walked it so much. There was some spots that...
There's spots from here to them folios over there that's
didn't
missed.
have nothing,
I know.
I didn't realize it was quite to that extent.
And what we figured out happened with that John Deere planter was it was planting too deep. I didn't have everything adjusted quite right. I do now, and I have the problem figured out. But it was too deep, and it was putting the seed too deep in the ground. We had some seed that was going close to 4 inches in the ground. It's a wonder any of it come up, because it was so deep.
You live and you learn.
But you live and you learn. So if we'd have had the stand that should have been on this field, I could only imagine how much we actually turned off.
Almost double.
Yeah.
Because as much as was missed out there.
It would be a double.
Yeah.
It'd have been at least 50% more. But it might have been double.
Yep.
But anyways, that's it.
Go feed my critters.
I gotta go. I'm gonna unhook this. I'm gonna take the corn picker up there and get it blowed off and cleaned up before I put it up. And then I'll come back and get this load of corn here. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you, this turned out to be a lot longer, take a lot longer than I expected. But it's because I had to go so slow. I mean, and we had to break down. But whatever.
Well, I mean the whole process in itself. I mean, you've been trying to pick this corn
for a month. It feels like, anyway, it might have been 2 weeks, but it feels like a month.
I think I want to say it probably has been a month.
Has it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's been a while.
I'm glad it's done.
I know you was about to jump off that tractor seat when you got to that last thought right there.
I couldn't wait. I was so excited.
Oh, me. Well,
but I am. I mean, for real. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's some beautiful corn. I think it just amazes me how pretty this corn is.
And it was a good corn year, too. We got to keep that in mind.
It was a very good year for corn.
We know it won't always be this way, but...
If this picker shucked it, it would probably look a lot better load. But where it's going to be ground into cow feed, I mean, that all makes cow feed.
Yep. But anyways, guys, I guess that's going to about wrap up today's video. I'm going to let Mr. Lawson treat me to some supper tonight for walking this cornfield.
Yeah, we probably should come down here and walk it again, but I just don't know if I want to.
Probably should. But hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope I learned a little something. So glad it's done.
Me too.
Till we see y'all in the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.
Golly. That's a monster. It's just unreal.